Did you know that there's actually two types of blue heelers? It goes back to how they were created, how they were bred to create a loving, intense, tireless working dog that we know today. Today, there still are two separate blue heeler breeds, but you can't really tell the difference because they were created so similarly from two different people that didn't even know each other. So we'll explain the blue heeler origin and how they came to be, because we love the blue heeler because of its work ethic, its protective nature, and how it can be a great family dog. But first, if you have a blue heeler or any dog, stop feeding them only kibble. It's dry, it's dehydrating, it's high in carbs, doesn't have the essential proteins. Get them some fresh food. We recommend We Feed Raw. You go on the website, fill out information about your dog, and you can get a trial box. It comes right to your door. All you have to do is thaw and serve. We Feed Raw does the rest. Make sure they get all the essential proteins and nutrients that your dog needs. Get away from just kibble. It's We Feed Raw, link in the description. Okay, let's learn how the blue heeler came to be. First, we need to understand why there was a need for a dog like this. The breed was created in the second half of the 19th century by Australian cattle breeders who wanted a tough dog to help them herd cattle over the vast ranges, and we're talking hundreds, even thousands of acres. It was difficult for these ranchers to achieve this on foot, basically impossible. And riding horses wasn't an option because horses were not nimble enough to change direction and keep the cattle in line. They needed a dog, but this dog had to be robust, tough, and able to not be intimidated by 1,000-pound cattle. It needed also to navigate different terrain, and ultimately, could they create a dog that could be a tireless worker? That's what they were looking for. So they used dingoes tamed by border collies, sheepdogs, and other dogs to get the result that they needed. More on that later in the video. Blue heelers get their name from their herding method, which involves nipping at the heels of the cattle to keep them together. This is a born-in trait that we still see today, so that will cause them to nip at the heels of running children or anybody else that they want to get in line or get to where a blue heeler wants them to be. So let's explore how these dogs were created and how they're two different types. The first person to go to work on creating a blue heeler was Thomas Hall. He crossed a collie with an Australian dingo, creating the Hall's Heeler, which is thought to be one of the ancestors of the Australian cattle dog due to their appearance. The Hall's Heeler was then crossed with Dalmatians, Bull Terriers, Kelpies to create the Heeler. The Heeler was established around 1900. The blue heeler was first introduced to the United States in 1940, and then they became part of the AKC in 1980. Around the same time, George Eliot of Queensland had been breeding cattle dogs by crossing the dingo with a Scottish Highland Collie and the Border Collie. He obtained almost the same result as Hall, but of course Eliot's dogs were called the Queensland Heelers versus the Hall's Heeler. Over time, the Hall's Heeler and the Queensland Heeler became the Australian cattle dog. But you might be asking, why are there blue heelers and why are there red heelers? Because they're both Australian cattle dogs. The blue sheen comes from the original Northumberland Blue Merle Drover dogs, and the red version has the genes for the red coat of the dingo. So that's why you see a red heeler and a blue heeler, both Australian cattle dogs, both with the robust ability to get the job done and be incredible dogs. These dogs are one of a kind because they have the size to do it all. They're very intelligent, and they are tireless workers. It's one of the reasons they were created. They had to have a dog that would not stop and would not be intimidated by large cattle, and they've definitely done that. So if you're going to get a blue heeler, it's important to know they need a ton of exercise. They want to be out running, playing, and doing as much as they possibly can because that's how they were bred, and that's what's in their blood. So this is not a dog that's going to be a good apartment dog or lay around the house. They need to be out, running, active, and it'll be up to you as the owner to keep their minds active, to keep their bodies active. And if you do this, along with socializing them, they'll be outstanding dogs for you and your family. Just know they have a tendency to nip. They have a tendency to want to herd anything that's around them because that is how they were created. So we hope you've enjoyed this video all about the blue heeler and how there's two types, how they came to be, and now you'll know why this dog is so special.